it's time for us to have a conversation about your relationships, our relationships, making sure that things go right every time. I've been joined by Bernard Osei-Duah, who is a customer customer experience professional, also HR and performance consultant. And we're going to be discussing this morning managing third parties in your relationship. Going to be interesting. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah. So, third parties.
Yes.
In relationships. Now, I know earlier on, Jafar and I were having, we're trying to figure out whether is the third party the in-laws or the third party the third party.
Maybe
and
before,
how do we manage them?
Before we, what's your third party of the third party? Thank you very much once again for having me, and a very great morning to all your listeners. Yes, correctly so. When we talk about third parties, relationships usually have the first and the second. Now, there are others that are interconnected to that relationship. And when I talk about this, it's not actually limited to the family capsule or even social relations, but even professionally. And all these three angles could be worked on. But basically, anything or any kind of relationship that does not hinge from the first and the second becomes third. So in a marital relationship, you're talking about your in-laws. So be it mother, father, brother, sister, in-laws, they are all connected and they form a third party. Not just them, but sometimes even people within our religious circles, they also constitute who becomes a third party. Friends, colleagues from work. And even on the professional circle, you see the organogram of an organization spells out the relationship that goes in three directions: the top, downwards, and also across. So I call this the three S's. They are your superiors, your surrounders, and your subordinates. All right, these three have relationships that are sparked on. Now, the grapevine creates what we call the third parties in those relationships. And the effective management of it can either add value to you or really take from you.
Wow. Okay, so let's look at, in the simplest way, how do we manage these third parties so that we have good relationships?
Okay, all right. So when we consider social relations, let's take marriage, all right? Many times, a lot of people have had issues with in-laws, and be it mother, father, or the brothers and sisters who are persistently and consistently, if you like, poaching somewhere, Sometimes it's by virtue of the kind of relationship they have with their daughter, or son, or brother or sister. And by virtue of that, they kind of stake a claim as to what goes on in their relationships or marriages. Now, you cannot take this for granted. Some people grow up, and in their growth processes, they have this bond and attachment to their family. When they get married, these relationships don't get cut off. It comes along with. As a person who is actually married to such a man or a woman, it's ideal how you are able to manage them. And this is why it's important. Now, I know that this is not focused on counseling, but just to add a notch to it quickly before we get into maybe the professional side. One of the things I came to realize is that many times we are actually not careful what we share with these third parties. Because what we share empowers them to claim or a stake,
have a stake in
what goes on. So for example, I could be in a relationship with my wife. We're married. She's got her family, I've got my family. So something happens in the relationship and I tell my family. Let's say I tell my mom or any of my siblings. 2 weeks down the line, my wife and I are okay. But remember, whatever you've told your family doesn't just get wiped off. Whatever sentiments and emotions they carry with them might remain. So whereas I might have actually moved on with my wife from whatever condition or situation that persisted, they still hold on against my spouse based on the things I shared with them. This is why it's important what you are able to expose so that you can limit how much people can actually get into the relationships you have. And this is very important. Either than that, you might never enjoy the peace in your home.
Wow. Okay, so finally wrap up with us on the professional side.
Now, with the professional side, I spoke about 3 levels. So your superiors,
yes,
your surrounders, and then also your subordinates. Now, it's easy when it comes to your subordinates. In leadership, I might not use subordinates, but for the sake of getting a swag of the three S's, you know, but it's ideal that your teams, the people you work with, you manage that relationship very well. Because I've come to realize that what makes you promoted is by virtue of the people that work with or under you.
Okay.
The truth is, when they are absent, your promotion is taken away. So, for example, if you have someone who works in your team who might have been sacked due to one reason or the other, might not be pulling the weight, it's not performing, and they are gotten rid of. What happens at the end of the day is that you might have to take on some of their work until a replacement comes off. So those that are beneath you are actually the people who makes you get promoted. And it's ideal that you manage these aspects well. For your superiors, it's even prime. Many times we form cliques with our surrounders, thinking that when my relationship that goes to the top, doesn't really matter. The truth is it does. Because these are the people who make decisions about your promotion, your demotion, your increase, in which way or one way or another. This is why it's ideal that you manage your relationship that goes up very effectively. Usually your surrounders are your covering. They are the ones you share a lot with. They are the ones who hold your secret. They are the ones you say all the jack, and the swears to. So they know all the, the things you say in the background. And when you fight with such people, you actually expose your own nakedness. So it's ideal that you manage this relationships with all three levels within the spec of your professional.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Bernard. Osei-Duah is a customer experience, HR, and performance consultant, and he's been helping us to understand how to manage third-party relationships, third parties in our relationships.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.